Book a free window and door inspection with us and make sure to call before March 31st to lock in our special financing. 1-800-504-4545.
Watch Off the Clock today at 2 on KTLA 5.
Now at noon, the powerful late winter storm pummels Southern California, bringing heavy snow in the mountains to rain and high winds in the metro areas and even a tornado. Thanks for joining us for the KTLA 5 News at noon. I'm Glenn Walker.
And I'm Lou Parker. The storm impacts are being felt all over SoCal with mudslides, downed trees, and other damage being reported.
We have live team coverage, including details on the tornado and road impacts. But we'll start with KTLA 5 Shelby Nelson live in a winter wonderland up at Big Bear. Shelby.
Hey, Glenn and Lou, it definitely is a winter wonderland. I can tell you, though, we are getting blasted from all sides because this wind has definitely been whipping around the snow, and the snow has not stopped since we started going live at 5 a.m. this morning. So you can just imagine how much snow has fallen, and it continues to fall. I'll step out so you can just look at what we are seeing out here in the village here in Big Bear. As I said, yesterday we were showing kind of what it looked like, and there was some old snow, wasn't really covered in anything, but now everything is blanketed in a fresh coat of powder. And you know, lots of people who are up here are super excited. We saw a lot of people gearing up to go hit the slopes. Two guys that we talked to earlier this morning were excited to do that. They were just getting out of eating breakfast. They were getting some snacks and were going to be on their way. And you know, one of them told us, and it really is indicative of what we see here in Southern California. They say it really doesn't look like Southern California when you're up here. What do you make of all this? It is pretty spectacular, right?
Oh yeah, it's pretty awesome. I was just telling him this morning, I was like, dude, it feels like we're not in California or SoCal, you know, but yeah, no, it was dope to have the opportunity to come up here and get in the snow.
Yep, that's the beauty of being here in SoCal. You've got the beaches so close and the snow and mountains so close. Now, this is video from earlier. Snowplows with private agencies and public works have been hard at work clearing roads and parking lots. As we've been saying, our local mountains are under this winter storm warning, so lots of these mountain communities, not just Big Bear, but Idlewild, Lake Arrowhead, Crestline, are all going to be seeing their fair share of snow. And according to Big Bear Mountain Resort, all three of its ski areas have received several inches of snow. March snow total so far, they say, 3 feet for Snow Valley, and for Snow Summit and Bear Mountain, just under 3 feet of snow. So pretty exciting for anybody who wants to hit the slopes. And also exciting for any students because it is a snow day today for several school districts, including ones that are in Wrightwood, up here in Big Bear, Running Springs and Crestline. All those kids have a nice snow day. So again, under this winter storm warning, we're talking about some of the risky and dangerous conditions. Part of that are the winds that we have seen kick up every now and then. At times it seems a little calm, and then other times it just seems like it picks up out of nowhere, whips it around, and remember, that can create some pretty low visibility out here. I don't see many people on the road right now here in the village. It's probably because everybody's out snowboarding or skiing, but you know, remember, I mean, right now is not the time to be traveling up to the mountains. People who are up here have told us that they're likely going to stay here if they have to. There's a few people who had told us that they might want to travel down. Probably not the best idea today, but there are snow chain restrictions in effect. So vehicle chain restrictions in effect, excuse me. So if you have a two-wheel drive vehicle, you're not going to be let up. There's probably going to be some checkpoints out there. They're going to be checking if you have them. And there are gentlemen who kind of stay to the side. So if you have those chains, maybe if you don't know how to put them on, you can always hire them. I think they charge about $50 or so. Don't quote me on that, but that's usually how much they charge. But you won't be up unless you have chains. Unless also you have four-wheel drive, you could use that, but also try to have chains on hand just because it's always safe to do that, and we do too. So again, guys, we're going to be out here even until tomorrow. So we'll keep monitoring these conditions out here for you. But for now, live here in Big Bear, this beautiful winter wonderland, I will send it back to you guys.
All right, Shelby Nelson, thank you for that. And speaking of travel, the mountain snow does look pretty, but drivers could encounter slick conditions as they head to upper elevations. KTLA 5's Corrine Winter continues our live team coverage. She is live in Fraser Park. Corrine?
Yeah, Glenn, not as much snow as Shelby and Big Bear, but we're getting our share out here. There's some snow, there's a little bit of hail, you may be able to see it, and some cold conditions, but we are loving this assignment. We're definitely loving the view. Take a look at the hillsides. They're covered in snow. We saw a lot of people this morning, still trying to clearing away all that snow from their driveways. The conditions here are not too bad right now along the 5 freeway through the Grapevine. Heading up here, especially after last night when things looked a lot different. This week's second storm dumped about 2 inches of powder overnight, and the snow stopped falling around 5 a.m. We've had a break in the conditions since then, but overnight and into the early morning hours, while the roadways were just a mess, there were travel delays, really dangerous and slippery in some spots with those road conditions along the Grapevine and 5 freeway. CHP had to do escorts for more than half an hour with the low visibility. And then there were those wind gusts, upwards of 50 miles per hour. There were some road closures and portions of roadways that were just impassable. But it's not over just yet, with more snow in the forecast for the evening hours. But driving here, everything looked clear on the 5 freeway. The northbound and southbound lanes were clear. Caltrans has extra crews out, snow plows deployed to the area. They're trying to clear away any snow that begins to accumulate on the roads throughout the day and evening hours.
The 4 snowplows that we have patrolling the pass now are seeing snowfall earlier this morning. There's more predicted for later today and tomorrow, but the snow is not sticking to the ground there. So we're actively patrolling, taking care of some flooding that's happened this morning, but no snow is sticking to the ground.
And definitely keep this in mind, because those accidents can and do occur. That Caltrans spokesperson you just heard from wanted us to pass along this important reminder. If you don't have to be on the roadways today, don't venture out. Stay in. It's much safer. If you do have to drive, especially in those impacted areas along the Grapevine, the 5 freeway, they want you to limit your activity along those freeways, that freeway rather, because it could get very congested as we approach the evening hours with the snow that's in the forecast. And make sure you have enough gas. Make sure you have enough windshield wiper fluid, things that you don't really think about until you're stuck in that situation and it becomes more urgent. So definitely take it slow on those roadways. We'll be monitoring the conditions out here throughout the afternoon and have updates for you coming up. Lou and Glenn.
All right, Corrine, thank you. A Pico Rivera neighborhood is cleaning up after a small tornado touched down. It was spawned by the fierce rainstorm that swept through Southern California overnight. Omar Lewis is at the scene with the latest. Hi, Omar. Sort of scary.
Yeah, good afternoon. We could tell you here that in a matter of minutes, this tornado touched down, leaving a trail of destruction behind here. Want to show you what's going on as crews work to clean up this mess. Large trees came tumbling down, impacting homes and cars here. Public Works crews are still out here at this hour trying to get this mess all cleaned up. But taking a look at the house behind us, you can see this is where a tree landed right here, shattering that glass. And then the house next door to that, they are trying to fix some of the shingles on the roof that blew off. The National Weather Service confirming that this EF0 tornado had wind speeds reaching more than 85 miles per hour. Residents described waking up to a loud roar and seeing debris swirling outside their window. Take a listen.
So the first thing I heard was it sounded like hail, big hail just coming down. So that's what made me get up, and I looked outside, and when I looked, there was lightning, and the wind was just it sounded like a swooshing sound. Yeah. And it was just everything was spinning.
I get him back inside, and then I hear this loud bang.